there's a quiet, almost invisible moment that happens right before success. The deal is nearly signed. The relationship is finally stable. The weight is almost lost. The exam is days away. You've worked for this. You've earned it. And then something shifts. You procrastinate. You pick a fight. You miss a deadline. You forget to send the email. It's subtle, but the effect is dramatic. You were about to win. And somehow, you stepped in your own way. If you've ever felt this pattern in your life, you're not lazy. You're not incapable. You're not cursed. What you may be experiencing is a deeply human psychological phenomenon. Self-sabotage, triggered by the fear of what success will change. Self-sabotage rarely happens at the beginning of a journey. At the start, there's excitement, hope, motivation. The mind is energized by possibility. But as you get closer to the finish line, the stakes change. Success stops being abstract and starts becoming real. And with that reality comes a flood of unconscious questions. What if I can't maintain this? What if people expect more from me now? What if I lose this? What if I outgrow the people I love? What if I succeed and still feel empty? Right before you win, you're not just facing achievement, you're facing identity transformation. The human mind is wired for familiarity, not happiness. It prefers the known over the unknown, even when the known is painful. If you've spent years identifying as the underdog, the struggler, the one who almost makes it, then winning requires you to let go of that identity. And that can feel destabilizing. For some people, struggle becomes a comfort zone. It's predictable. It comes with built-in explanations. I'm stressed. I'm overwhelmed. I'm trying. There's safety in almost succeeding because almost keeps you from being fully seen. Once you actually win, the protective shield of potential disappears. Now, your ability is exposed, and exposure can feel dangerous. Many people who self-sabotage near success grew up in environments where achievement was either overly pressured or emotionally unsafe. Maybe love was conditional, tied to performance. When you did well, expectations increased. When you made mistakes, affection withdrew. Success didn't feel freeing. It felt like walking into a spotlight with no room for error. As an adult, your nervous system may still associate achievement with tension rather than celebration. So as you approach a breakthrough, your body interprets it as threat. Anxiety rises. Sleep becomes restless. You suddenly feel distracted or overwhelmed. You create small mistakes that escalate into big consequences, not because you want to fail, but because part of you believes failure is safer than the pressure of maintaining success. There's also the fear of visibility. Winning makes you visible. It invites scrutiny. It changes how others see you. For someone who grew up minimizing themselves or trying not to attract attention, visibility can feel like exposure. You might unconsciously think, if I succeed, people will judge me, they'll criticize me, they'll envy me, they'll expect more. So you stay in the realm of potential. Potential is admired, it's praised, but it doesn't threaten the social equilibrium. Another layer of self-sabotage right before success is rooted in self-worth. Deep down, some people carry an unexamined belief. I am not worthy of good things. This belief may have formed from repeated criticism, emotional neglect, or comparison during childhood. When life begins to contradict that belief, when something good is actually within reach, it creates internal dissonance. If you believe you are undeserving and success is approaching, your mind will try to restore consistency. You may unconsciously behave in ways that align with your old identity. It's not self-hatred. It's psychological coherence. The brain wants your external world to match your internal story, and so you pull back. Sometimes self-sabotage looks dramatic, quitting, cheating, blowing up relationships, but more often it's quiet. It's procrastination disguised as perfectionism. It's endlessly tweaking a project so it's never finished. It's waiting for the perfect moment to launch, which never comes. It's choosing a small, solvable problem to focus on instead of stepping into the big opportunity. There's also grief hidden inside success. Winning often means leaving something behind. Old routines, old versions of yourself, Sometimes even certain relationships. If you grew up in a family or community where surpassing others felt like betrayal, success may trigger guilt. You might fear outgrowing the people who shaped you. You might worry that stepping into your full potential creates distance, so you unconsciously shrink back to maintain belonging. In romantic relationships, this can look like picking fights when things are finally stable. Stability may feel unfamiliar. If you're used to chaos, calm can feel suspicious. The nervous system might interpret peace as something's about to go wrong, so you create tension to regain a sense of emotional familiarity. In careers, it can show up right before promotions. You might miss key details or hesitate to advocate for yourself. If you've internalized the belief that you're only valuable when striving, not when arriving, then reaching the top feels like the end of your worth. Struggle gave you purpose. Who are you without it? The irony is painful. The very thing you want can activate the very fear that prevents you from holding it. Self-sabotage is rarely about not wanting success. It's about fearing the emotional consequences of having it. The first step in shifting this pattern is awareness without judgment. If you approach self-sabotage with harshness, "Why do I always ruin everything?" you reinforce the shame that fuels it. Instead, try curiosity. What does winning represent to me? What feels scary about this next level? You may uncover fears like, if I succeed, I won't be able to relax. If I succeed, I'll disappoint people who expect me to fail. If I succeed, I'll have no excuse left. If I succeed, I'll have to confront parts of myself I've been avoiding. These fears don't make you weak, they make you human. It's also helpful to examine your relationship with pressure. Some people operate best when striving, chasing, climbing, but arrival feels disorienting. You may have learned to associate worth with effort rather than outcome. So when the effort pays off, your system doesn't know how to exist without the adrenaline of pursuit. Healing this pattern often involves redefining identity. Instead of seeing yourself as the one who almost makes it, you begin to see yourself as someone capable of sustaining growth. Instead of tying worth to performance, you practice grounding it in inherent value. This doesn't mean fear disappears. It means fear stops making decisions. When you notice yourself pulling back right before a breakthrough, pause. Ask gently, what am I protecting myself from? Is it failure, or is it the responsibility of success? Is it embarrassment, or is it visibility? Is it losing, or is it changing? Change is uncomfortable, even positive change. But consider this, the version of you who set this goal did not do so casually. There was longing behind it, vision, desire. That part of you still exists. Self-sabotage is often a younger, protective part trying to keep things predictable. You don't have to fight it. You can reassure it. You can say, it's safe to grow. It's safe to win. We can handle this. You can build tolerance for success the same way you build tolerance for discomfort, gradually. Celebrate small completions. Let yourself finish projects. Let yourself receive praise without deflecting. Sit with positive outcomes without immediately moving the goalpost. Winning is not a single event. It's a capacity to hold achievement without collapsing under it. And if you've sabotaged in the past, that doesn't mean you're destined to repeat it. It means you've identified a pattern that once served you. Patterns can change when brought into awareness. Right before you win, your old identity may whisper, stay where it's safe. But growth whispers something else. You're ready. You don't have to destroy the finish line to protect yourself. You can cross it slowly. You can breathe through the discomfort of expansion. You can allow success to feel unfamiliar without interpreting it as danger. There is a version of your life where you don't pull back at the last second, where you allow things to go well, where you trust yourself not only to reach the top, but to stay there with steadiness and humility. You are not your moments of sabotage. You are the awareness that notices them. And awareness is the first true win.